I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what's a movie tradesman doing out here? You know, they're all left-wingers out there, left of Lenin. At least that's what people think, but that's not really the case. There's a lot of conservative people, a lot of moderate people, Republicans, Democrats in Hollywood. It's just that conservative people, by the nature of the word itself, play a little more close to the vest, and they don't go around hot dogging it.
Let's dive into the story of Clint Eastwood, the legendary actor and director who's been a constant challenge to Hollywood's increasingly woke culture for decades. While most actors tiptoe around hot-button issues in fear of being canceled or saying the wrong thing, Clint has never played by those rules. He doesn't just dip his toe into controversial waters, he marches straight through them. At 94 years old, after more than half a century in the film industry, Clint's grown tired of the overwhelming political correctness and cancel culture that has seeped into not just Hollywood, but across many industries. You might think that at this stage of his life, Clint would be ready to slow down or soften his stance, but that couldn't be further from the truth. This is the man who brought us some of cinema's toughest and most enduring characters in films like Dirty Harry, Unforgiven, and Gran Torino. These characters, much like Clint himself, don't back down when faced with adversity.
Better luck next time, fool.
His iconic, no-nonsense attitude has won him legions of fans over the years and has set him up as a figure who refuses to conform to the increasingly restrictive social norms dominating Hollywood today. Clint's approach is refreshingly straightforward. He tells it like it is. And in today's world, where nearly every public figure seems overly cautious and scripted, that's something a lot of people respect and admire. Think about the famous line that solidified Clint Eastwood's tough guy persona. "Go ahead, make my day." That wasn't just a cool movie quote, it's practically Clint's life philosophy. Whether dealing with fame, Hollywood politics, or the pressures of being in the spotlight, Clint has always handled it all with remarkable calm and unyielding confidence. Meanwhile, Hollywood has drifted more and more into the realm of woke culture, catering to the demands of an easily offended audience. Clint, however, has never been interested in catering to anyone. He's always been himself, unapologetically.
But, you know, he's so right when he talks about, get over it. Please get over it. Because we have gone, I mean, we're moving toward almost a fascistic political correctness in which you have to have one view in Hollywood, you have to have another in Wall Street and another in Washington, sometimes entirely divorced from the previous.
Take, for example, the 1973 Academy Awards. That year, Marlon Brando famously rejected his Oscar for The Godfather and instead sent Native American activist Sachin Littlefeather to accept it in protest. It was an intense moment with the audience on edge. Clint then stepped up to the stage with his signature blend of wit and provocation, quipping, "I don't know if I should present this award on behalf of all the cowboys shot in all the John Ford westerns over the years." It was classic Clint, sharp, dry, and a bit cheeky. At the time, nobody seemed to be offended, and it was taken as a joke, just as he intended.
I don't know if I should present this award on behalf of all the cowboys shot in all the John Ford westerns over the years.
But fast forward to today's hypersensitive climate, and that same line has been scrutinized and attacked. Social media users dug up the old clip and accused Clint of insensitivity, with some even labeling him as racist. Imagine that, Clint Eastwood, one of Hollywood's most respected and iconic figures, being targeted by cancel culture for a joke he made nearly 50 years ago. But if there's one thing you can count on, it's that Clint wasn't about to apologize for something he said decades ago, nor should he. The attempts to cancel him fizzled out almost as quickly as they started, in part because of the sheer loyalty of his fan base. Clint's supporters, people who have followed his career for years, weren't about to let him get erased over a joke from a different era.
Oh, I've got one. There's a Mexican, a Jew, and a colored guy go into a bar. The bartender looks up and says, "Get the fuck out of here."
What makes Clint different from many other Hollywood figures is that he's never been afraid of different opinions. In fact, he welcomes them. He's never been rigid in his views, nor has he surrounded himself with people who only agree with him. As a director, Clint has always been known for hiring a diverse range of talent and encouraging those around him to bring their own ideas to the table. That openness is something you don't always see in Hollywood, a town where, despite the image of inclusivity, many still expect you to conform to the prevailing political and cultural narratives.
Nothing rigid about his style. He's not threatened by ideas that the people around him have. And in fact, he encourages that because that's why he hired you.
He's very quick, and he's got a lot of talent. Lot of talent.
Clint's unwillingness to bend to the pressures of political correctness isn't a new development. He's been vocal for years about the dangers of over-the-top sensitivity and cancel culture. In his view, society's obsession with labeling, dissecting, and finding fault in every word or joke is not only exhausting, it's dangerous. For Clint, it's about maintaining the ability to express differing opinions without fear of retribution, something he believes is essential to both creative freedom and democratic society. As he once said, we're moving toward almost a fascistic political correctness, where you have to have one view in Hollywood, another in Wall Street, and another in Washington. Hollywood has changed dramatically over the years. What was once a place where filmmakers and actors took bold risks has become an industry paralyzed by the fear of saying the wrong thing. Everyone's walking on eggshells, afraid of being canceled for stepping outside the ever-changing lines of what's considered acceptable. But Clint Eastwood, he's not walking on those eggshells, he's smashing them. Take a moment to think about Gran Torino. Could you even imagine that film being made today? It tells the story of a grizzled, racist war veteran who forms an unlikely friendship with his Hmong neighbors. The film is raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic. It doesn't soften its edges to fit into the politically correct mold. And that's what gives it its power. It's real. It doesn't shy away from the hard truths.
Get your ass over there.
Clint Eastwood's movies don't bend to the pressures of woke culture. He's not interested in making films that check boxes to satisfy the latest political trend. He's here to tell stories that matter, stories that make you think, that ask tough questions. If Gran Torino were released today, it would probably be considered too controversial before the trailer even dropped. The social media outrage machine would be in full force, demanding it be canceled. But Clint, he doesn't care about all that. He never has. His focus is on making authentic movies about real people, not sanitized versions of reality. Gran Torino is just one example. Look at his body of work: Unforgiven, Million Dollar Baby, American Sniper. These are films that delve into the complexities of human nature. They confront uncomfortable truths head-on. Hollywood used to make movies like that, but today everything feels watered down, designed to be safe and avoid backlash. Clint has been outspoken about how this obsession with avoiding offense is stifling creativity.
That's right. I've killed women and children. Killed just about everything that walks or crawled at one time or another.
In his 2020 film Richard Jewell, Clint tackled the media's rush to judgment and sensationalism, telling the story of a man wrongfully accused of a bombing. Again, he wasn't interested in playing it safe or pushing an agenda. He wanted to tell a story that mattered, one that made people reflect on the dangers of misinformation and media bias.
I know exactly where you're coming from, but read it again, because I think we can make a great statement against violence and killing if we do this right.
Clint's opposition to the current Hollywood culture goes deeper than just his movies. It's a reflection of who he is. He's always played by his own rules in an industry where most are desperate to say the right things and please the right people. Clint has stayed true to himself from the start, and that's why, even now, he's considered one of the greats. Despite numerous attempts to cancel him, Clint remains unfazed. Critics call him a relic from another era, someone who doesn't get the new Hollywood. But maybe that's exactly why we need more filmmakers like Clint, people unafraid to speak their minds. In today's Hollywood, where fear stifles free expression, Clint stands tall, unshaken. Even at 94, he's still directing, still telling stories that matter, still doing things his way. What's more, he's respected not just by audiences, but by fellow actors and directors alike. Clint is known for giving his cast and crew creative freedom, valuing collaboration over control. That's a rarity in an industry that often feels overly scripted and micromanaged. So the question is Clint Eastwood a relic of the past, or is he exactly what Hollywood needs right now? Perhaps we need fewer people pandering to trends and more filmmakers willing to tell honest, challenging stories. Maybe we need more Clint Eastwoods, directors who push boundaries and aren't afraid to make people uncomfortable. In a world where most people go with the flow, Clint Eastwood has stood his ground, staying true to his vision without bending to the trends of the moment. His legacy isn't just about unforgettable films, but about artistic integrity and the courage to say what many won't. Maybe that's exactly what we need today: less conformity and more authenticity. So, next time you sit down to watch a movie, ask yourself, Do you want something that just entertains or something that makes you think? Clint reminds us that cinema, in its purest form, reflects reality, flaws, challenges, and all. Thank you for joining us in this conversation about a legend who has left his mark on Hollywood. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Does Hollywood need more Clint Eastwoods? Perhaps what we really need are more stories that dare to be told without fear. See you next time!